Well, hello. I'm out of the snow, as you can tell. It's the last day of January. Because if you know much about me, you know I'm really good at doing things at the last minute and really bad at doing things before the last minute. So I'm supposed to be hiking 11 miles today, which I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna do like 3/4 of it and then stop and have dinner at home and then walk out the rest of it. Ooh, neat, look. It's been raining in San Diego. So I traveled a bunch this month in snowy places and doing a lot of indoor coaching without a ton of leisure time. Not that I really wanted to hike in the 14-degree snowy weather, but because of all that, I have not been able to do a lot of trail time this month. So I'm just here at Mission Trails doing the backside of Cowles to Pyles, and then I'll go have dinner, and then I'll go out for, I don't know, probably a neighborhood walk, which isn't as much fun, but it'll still get my training miles in with a heavy pack. A little 360 for you. That's where I am. This is pretty much La Mesa. And then we have some snow in our local mountains. Hey, also, I gotta admit that I'm a little bit cranky today. I'm sure part of it's because I haven't really been on a trail all month, and I'm tired, and my body's still kind of adjusting for time zone changes. So I'm really hoping that walking a bit in the dirt will help my mood, at very least distract me. So I'm not gonna lie, this month has been super intense. The beginning was pretty relaxing, but it rained a lot, so I couldn't really get out. And then I traveled. I went to Edmonton, Alberta, and then Red Deer, and then back to Edmonton, and then back to San Diego for 36 hours, where I turned around and got on a plane for Philadelphia. Landed in Philadelphia late at night and drove to Wilmington, Delaware for a singer's school. So I was coaching in Alberta courses, quartets, individuals, and then in Delaware I was teaching at a singer's school for barbershop singers, Sweet Adelaide's. And all that was great. It was really exciting. It was a lot of wonderful people I was taken good care of. It was really intense. It was long days, a lot of traveling, a lot of teaching, a lot of logistics, a lot of figuring out how to eat. Like cooking with a hot plate in my hotel room and finding an Airbnb with a good stove, stuff like that. That is Lake Murray. So traveling with a chronic illness pretty much sucks. It's exhausting, and then there are a lot of choices to make. So I didn't really want to unmask on the plane, being, immunocompromised and all that. So I tried to time my food breaks for airports, but every single one of my connections was late. So I'm shoving food in my face while getting wheelchair service, because, and that's a whole thing. I do so much better when I have it. I last the day. Airports are one of the hardest places with all the standing and all the stress and all the carrying my super heavy necessities, extra water and all that. And then people are like, oh, it's a miracle. You can get up out of your chair and walk. And I'm like, yeah, but it's 10 a.m. so my body doesn't have enough blood in it yet. So yeah, I totally need this. And then of course, there's the external judgment that happens. People are like, oh, but you're so young. What's wrong? Or you don't look sick. And there's the internal well, I can climb up a mountain. So why can't I be okay by myself in an airport? And the answer is, it's a lot of standing, which is terrible for FOTS. And then add on top of that, the stress and the noise and the people, and again, just the carrying of all the stuff, not being able to eat and drink and sit when I need to. And I think I've mentioned before, standing can actually be much harder than walking because you don't have the skeletal muscle pump engaged. So yeah, it's weird, but it is what it is. So usually when I hike, I kind of do it in one go because it's a little bit shorter. Maybe I'll reach a destination, have a snack, come back. But with these longer days, I'm trying to figure out my pacing and figure out a little bit more like how it would be on multi-day overnights. So that's part of the reason why I'm doing today the way I'm doing it, but I'm also trying to figure out like how I can take little breaks here and there, which I don't love doing because I feel like it hurts my momentum and lets my blood settle. But if I'm going to be putting in super long days, I need to figure out how to make that work. So we'll see how that goes today. Hey. I took a little salt break. I decided to sit down for that, which I don't love because it makes me a little dizzier getting back up. But really pretty views on this side. Unfortunately, we've got some airplane noise, but hey, at least there aren't people over here. Check in and just talk about how wrecked I feel today. But then I sat down and drank water and stood back up, and now I'm going downhill, so I'm not hurting quite as much. But I do want to give a PT update on my knee. So I initially went because of back pain and nerve pain, and after the first visit, I had excruciating knee pain. I could not stand for like 24 hours. It was terrifying, and so I've been working my way back out of that. So the theory is, turns out I walk wrong, and like everyone, I've got big muscles that want to take over when small muscles are supposed to be doing their job. So I've got a whole bunch of exercises I've been doing all month. My new PT, I like her better than the first guy I saw, who might have contributed to the knee problem, but so I've been pretty successful in doing my exercises, but my muscles have been sore like every day for the last 30 days, which is okay. I can handle it. It's just I need to find the balance of rest so that I'm not so that I'm giving myself enough time to actually recover from it, or there will be a point of diminishing returns for sure. Haven't totally decided where I'm going to put in my extra miles today. This hike is only 6 miles long. Only? That used to be kind of impossible, so yeah, if I do up and back at 6 miles the way I came, I did take this little extra jaunt to the viewpoint, but I'd like to do, I don't know, 7 or 8 miles before dinner, and then I'll go out after and make up the rest. But I don't know if I'm going to do a couple like ups and backs here or a little extra loop around the front. We'll see. So I was just talking yesterday about how how amazing and necessary hiking and walking is, not just for my physical health, but for my mental health and my emotional health. I've been really struggling with time this last few weeks. I knew it was going to be busy. I knew this was going to be a push, but I took a little bit of downtime, and I'm still not really caught up from the holiday downtime. So I direct 2 courses in San Diego, and then I teach some lessons. I coach choruses and quartets. I do consulting for chorus directors. I run a YouTube channel for vocal warm-ups. We're trying to get the app up and running. Other than that, not much going on. But on top of all that, I'm working on my doctorate, and it's a really hard program. I'm really happy with it. I like the people, I like the professors, I like the work, but it's hard work, and it's a lot of work in a short period of time, and it's stressful because it's very reading and writing based, so you get a lot of feedback, which isn't always the easiest because, you know, you're learning to do something hard, and they're trying to prepare us for our dissertations, which will be very picky from an editing perspective, right? But it just feels like a lot. I'm just trying to figure out how to stay on top of everything. And they're all things I like. They're just stressful. I feel like I have a million emails. I'm trying really hard when I come out here on trail to not worry too much about that. But the reality is, like, we've got a costume deadline, so I gotta field text messages and phone calls and music deadline, so gotta make sure that all of that is properly rolling. So I'm a little bit in and out of it today, but it's okay. At least I can do something, right? And that's where I'm heading. Does not look very impressive through my viewfinder, but it's up at the top of that peak. We've been here before together. So that was my little top of the mountain break. Turning around and going back, this was about 3.56 miles. So if I go exactly the way I came with all of the detours, that would be 7 round trip. But I don't think I'm gonna go back to that viewpoint because I think I'd like to get a little further down the hill before the sun sets. So I spent all that time talking about time and how I'm feeling stressed with time, but the reason I thought of that was actually more related to what we're doing right now. And that is that all of a sudden my backpacking trip feels really close, and I know I have quite a few months, but I follow a bunch of like hiking, backpacking, PCT pages, and everybody's getting ready for their thru hikes. Most of them are going to leave before I will. There may be some late starters starting in May. The desert's gonna suck for them, but I'm planning to go at the beginning of May. So I'm kind of having this like, oh my gosh, I don't have all my gear dialed in. I don't have like my food dialed in. I don't know so many things. And the permitting process is weird because since I'm not doing a thru hike, it's not like I just get a permit. So I just need to figure out, I think most of what I'm doing, I'm just gonna camp in campgrounds. So I'm not gonna need permits, but I need to double check on all of that to to make sure that I'm not making those rules up. But the biggies for me is I need to get a new backpack because that one that I have does not work. So I either need to sell that or plead with REI that even though it's past the date, that they should give me an exchange or something, I don't know. So I need a new backpack, I need to figure out a stove system, need to figure out some more food things. I can dehydrate ground beef, but it takes a really long time to rehydrate it. So I was hoping that I could find some grass-fed, freeze-dried ground beef for myself, but the only brand I've been able to find that has that for humans, there's a ton of freeze-dried, grass-fed beef for dogs. Not gonna work. The only brand that I've found that does it mixes it in with whole meals, which aren't gonna work for me. They're too sugary, too carby. And most of them have other little ingredients that I can't have anyway. So with school starting back up, with courses starting back up, big concert coming up the weekend before my backpacking trip is a giant concert with both of my in-town courses that I direct. So I'm not really going to be able to make a big push right before it to get those logistics handled. It's going to have to be like, you know, in the next few months as I can. I actually have a pretty big deadline tonight, but I decided it would be in my best interest to get out and do this and slip in the 11 miles under the wire for the month of January. It's my goal, it's my intent to continue to put in some of these bigger miles, but just increase the weight. So I may do, another 11, I may do 12, but my goal is to increase my weight over the next few months. So I've been doing about 15 now. Next month I want to up it by 5 pounds, so hopefully beginning of February it'll be shorter hikes, like 7-8 miles with 20 pounds, and by the end of the month I hope to do another 11 or maybe 12 with 20 pounds, and then in March I want up to 25. April hopefully up it to 30. I don't know what my pack, not my base weight, but like loaded pack with water and all that, I'm not entirely sure what that's going to be. But they say like 15% of your body weight, 25% of your body weight, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know if that's gonna be enough for me. So figure I'll train a little heavier than I need to while I'm getting everything dialed in. By the way, I pitched my physical therapist last week, and I think she probably hasn't been connected with the backpacking world for a little while, and was like, oh, so how much weight do you think you're gonna carry? Like 40 pounds? No. But might be 30. So she kind of gave a tacit okay. That is a goal for me. She didn't say like, hey, don't do that, you're gonna really mess yourself up. So that made me feel pretty good. So I've hit a bit of a wall. Feels like a waste of energy to talk right now, but I don't know, since the top of Pyles I'm feeling pretty worn out. I don't know if it's that I haven't had enough food or water or salt, or if just my body sucks sometimes. I shouldn't say that. My body's unpredictable sometimes. So I'm almost back up to the top of Cowles. I will take some more salt and drink some more water there, but hurting right now. Not sure I've ever crashed this hard in recent history while I'm out on the trail. So I took some salt, took some water at the top of Cowles, but pretty windy and really cold, and I'm not regulating my temperature very well, so decided I better head down as soon as possible. I usually take the interesting trail. It's kind of zigzaggy, switchbacky with lots of rocks and things, but decided I better stay on the fire road where the people are. You know how I feel about the people. Well, that was not my favorite experience. I'm out of the wind now. I'm warmed up. It's been about a half an hour since I took my salt, so that's starting to kick in a bit. My brain function is not amazing, but I put in about 6.5 miles. As of right now, I'm almost back to the street where my car is. So, not sure if I'm going to go back out tonight or not. I'll be somewhat disappointed if I don't make this month's goal of 11 miles today. But obviously I need to really consider, make sure I'm not doing damage. It's 5:50. I just put my sticks back in my trunk and I've gone 6.65 miles. 6.65 miles. I'm on the flat here. I'm in a neighborhood. I figure I can walk around the block maybe once, get myself to a round number here. If I feel okay after dinner, it'd be nice to walk a bit more, but I'm not sure if I'll be able to convince my partner to go 4 miles. I might be able to convince him to go 3. So I don't know if I have another 1.5 miles in me right now, but I just might try. We'll see. Well, hello. It's not quite as scenic as earlier today, but I did decide to come back out and knock off those 3 miles. So here we go. I've got 3/4 mile left, and I've decided to make a little walk up Stewie Hill. You'll see. Hey, Stewie.
Made it home.
See you next time.